Sorry if my voice seems a little off. I've been under the weather for the last few days, but somebody reached out to me for a support regarding the standoff in Clonmel over a Franciscan church that has been there for many centuries and is being closed, asking for my support. And I just want to relay kind of a small anecdote about something. Earlier on in St. Francis's conversion, St. Francis, over 800 years ago, was a saint in Italy. And early on in his conversion, he hears a call from God to rebuild his church. And he took that as a sign to go out and get stones and to look at it. He found this church that, was derelict, and he starts rebuilding it. But this isn't at all what Christ was asking him to do, what God was asking him to do. The church, is the mystical body of Christ, our souls. And souls were being lost because the church had been in confusion, as it does through various epochs. And Christ was calling him to rebuild my church, to bring souls back to Christ. Christ doesn't care about buildings. We need to understand this. Christ does not want to save buildings. Christ wants to save souls. What does saving a soul mean? Allowing them to know Christ, to have a personal relationship with him, to reach union with God. So this standoff, this sit-in Clonmel in the Franciscan Friary, I know a few things in the church, and these type of actions don't work. Have never worked. Going up against a religious order as Catholics, going up against a religious order, or having them to go down legal routes it's not the way to go. It's not the way to go. And the action that was needed to save that church had to be taken 40 years ago. Because the only thing that will save a monastery are vocations. And, the crisis in the faith, it started 40, 50 years ago when we stopped teaching the faith. We had these crazy catechetical programs, which, has ended up with a situation where in many churches, in many places you go to mass today, the next generation is absent. The under 30s, the under 40s, they have abandoned the church in their swathes. Why? Because we have not taught them how to have a personal relationship with Christ. Christ doesn't mean anything to them. He may be some historical figure, but he doesn't mean anything to them. He doesn't mean anything to them in the sense they are not inclined to give their life to a project for Christ. And so the only advice I can give to those in Clonmel is leave the Franciscan building. Put your efforts into renewing the faith. In your families, in your communities, be leaders in the faith. Teach the faith. Be catechists. So that in 40 years there will be vocations that will come, because we will have opened the next generation's mind to understand the beauty of the faith. People see what I'm talking about here. God doesn't want bricks and mortar saved. He wants souls saved. Christ didn't build a single church. This is the Great Commission wasn't go out, my apostles, and build churches around the world. No, go out and baptize and make disciples of all the nations. Discipleship is union with Christ, intimate knowledge, love of Christ. Not a historic figure in a Bible, a living Christ. And this, I can't recommend that you put all of your energy into doing the church's mission, not in trying to save that monastery, which is, you never know the plans of God. You never know. So leave it to him to sort out. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.